踏入范府的那一刻，范闲面对的不是亲情，而是重重的敌意与伪装。在这个家里，谁是朋友，谁又是敌人？今天我们跟着范闲学习如何用英语描述复杂的人际关系，坚持看到最后，掌握5个地道的高级社交词汇。我们现在开始。
Fan Xian stood before the towering gates of Fan Manor. To the people passing by in the streets of the capital, this house was a symbol of ultimate power and endless wealth. But as the heavy wooden doors slowly creaked open, Fan Xian felt a strange chill. He wasn't entering a home, he was entering a battlefield. Inside, the atmosphere was heavy. Every servant moved like a ghost in the long, dim hallways. They bowed their heads so low their faces were hidden in the shadows. There was no sound of laughter, no casual talking, only the soft sound of cloth brushing against the floor. Fan Xian tightened his grip on his sleeves. He realized that in this house, even the walls had ears, and every shadow seemed to have its own motive. He whispered to himself, "The air here is thick with secrets." As he walked deeper into the garden, the scent of expensive flowers filled the air. A woman appeared from behind a stone screen, dressed in beautiful, flowing silk and shining jewelry. This was Lady Liu, the woman who controlled the inner house. She walked toward Fan Xian with a wide, radiant smile, as if she were welcoming a long-lost son. "You must be exhausted after such a long and difficult journey," she said, her voice as sweet as honey. To anyone else, she looked like a perfect, caring mother. But Fan Xian noticed her eyes. They remained sharp and cold, never matching her smiling lips. Her kind words were like hidden needles, testing him, looking for a weakness. Fan Xian didn't show any emotion. He bowed politely and smiled back, playing the part of an innocent boy from the countryside. He knew the first rule of survival. Never let your enemies see what you are thinking. Suddenly, the silence was shattered by a loud, arrogant shout. A young man ran into the courtyard, followed by a group of tired servants. This was Fan Sijie, Fan Xian's younger half-brother. He was dressed in a bright green robe made of the finest material, but it looked too large for him, making him look like a child playing dress-up. He stopped in front of Fan Xian, looking him up and down with a mixture of curiosity and anger. "So, you are the famous brother from Danzhou?" He laughed, but the laughter was not friendly. He began to brag about his status and complain about his daily allowance, trying to make Fan Xian feel small. Fan Xian watched him quietly. He realized that while Fan Sijie was loud and spoiled, he was also a distraction. In a house of vipers, the loudest one is often the least dangerous, but still a tool used by others to cause trouble. Just as the atmosphere became suffocating, a soft, melodic voice called his name from the veranda. "Brother Xian!" Fan Xian turned and saw a young woman walking quickly toward him. It was Fan Ruoruo, the sister who had been his only true connection to this family through years of secret letters. Unlike the cold masks worn by everyone else, her expression was authentic. Her eyes were filled with genuine relief and a hint of suppressed tears. They walked together through the winding, labyrinth-like corridors of the manor. She leaned closer and whispered a warning. "Be careful, brother. This place is not what it seems. There are traps in every corner and eyes in every window." In this dark den of vipers, her presence was like a sudden beam of pure sunlight. For the first time since arriving in the capital, Fan Xian felt he had a reason to fight for his place in this house. The days-long ordeal finally ended in the dim light of his father's private study. The air inside smelled of old paper, bitter tea, and candle smoke. Fan Jian, the master of the house, sat behind a massive desk made of dark, heavy wood. His silhouette was framed by the flickering candlelight, making him look like a giant shadow. There was no warm embrace, no welcome home, and no kindness. Fan Jian looked at his son with a gaze so sharp it felt like it could peel away Fan Xian's very skin. He He spoke of cold reality, political duty, a high-stakes marriage, and the perilous path ahead in the capital. He wasn't talking to a son, he was talking to a soldier. Fan Xian stood tall, meeting the older man's eyes with a steady, unyielding stare. He didn't look away. In that moment of silence, he made a silent vow. To survive the Fan Manor, he must become the most skillful actor of them all. He would wear the mask they expected, while his heart remained as sharp as a concealed dagger, ready for the war to come.